All right, looks like we are live. Sorry about the rescheduling and all of that, but here we are. We have a lot to go over. Who is the young guy? Also, we're going to talk about Mr. Evans. It's Mr. Evans to you. And who are the suits? It's an honest question. Because, welcome in. Do times and dates keep getting pushed? Yes, they do. Remember, getting ready to go to the border tomorrow, go to Yuma, and then after Yuma, we're going to San Diego. So we got a pack. We have a newborn. It's just chaotic. I actually canceled, and then I was able to find some time. So thanks, because Wendy, welcome in. Cindy Fern, how you doing? Okay, so this is kind of what you can expect from today's live stream. We're gonna take a look at the suits, who they were, who they might be. Maybe you guys have already figured it out. I haven't. Also, there's been mention of a young person seen about 2 weeks prior to Nancy's kidnapping. A neighbor says one of the intersections that leads into Nancy's neighborhood or to her home. There was a young man that just didn't belong. Who's this young person? They haven't seen him. They didn't see him before, and they haven't seen him since. Yellow, what's up, Cog? Jari, good to see you, Jari. Yes, chef. Why is Nancy's missing person report filed Saturday at 5 p.m.? Not sure. Not sure. Could be a technical thing. Donna, hello. JD Aries. JD Aries. What's up? Cody, how you been? The Sue Z Alomas. Interesting. Interesting play on words. Christine, Patty. And is this the jacket? So the ski mask came in. I'm pretty sure it's identical. I'll show it to you more a little bit over the next couple days. Also, the gloves, the black, what is it, nitrate? What is that, nitrile? Nitrile? Sorry, I'm illiterate. But either way, I put these gloves on. These were the cheapest gloves I could find online. And after doing so, I don't believe that the kidnapper was actually wearing latex or these type of gloves. Even if he was wearing, I used to think he might have been wearing these latex gloves over the top of another pair of gloves. I don't believe that anymore. That's why it's important to kind of do these little experiments yourselves. You got to touch it and feel it. DTR. True love. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yes, chef. Because yeah, technically it was on a Sunday. It should show a Sunday, right? The first. But I'm sure it could be like a technical glitch or something. That's good to hear, Cody. So I don't know. This looks like the jacket to me. And all of these items can be found online, purchased through Walmart. Except the gloves. I'm not convinced anymore. I think I have the wrong gloves. I don't think he's wearing rubber gloves. Something else. First time we go to the scene Saturday night. All right, what do we want to start with here? Why don't we start with Mr. Evans? It's Mr. Evans to you. All right. See, now here on my channel, we were never interested in Tommaso and what's his name? Dominic here. Apparently, this is what he looks like pretty much today, right? Much older than the images that are circulating on social media. So it's just hard to tell. So, what's up, Kathy? Donna? Those gloves he wore were long, maybe cleaning gloves. Yeah, let's pull that. Let's take a look at that. Because I mean, I literally have these gloves right here, and I tried one on, and I even tried to put one over the top of another pair of gloves that I had, and I'm just like, nope, there's no way. The gloves that the suspect has on, they're kind of loose. You see that? See, there's a lot of slack there. With these gloves, I didn't get that. Critical error says per Brian Enton, Pima County is preparing to return Navy G. Nancy G? Say what? Christine Sleuth. I seen some reporter talking about somebody home, a sleuther on his computer overpaying. You can make out a car pretty awesome. Say what? Thought the gloves looked like neoprene. The hell's that? Robert Bell, what's going on? Yeah, these gloves have a lot of slack in them. Almost baggy, loose. See that? Right here. When I put these gloves on, they were pretty tight. See, they're even creased. These almost remind me of like gardener gloves or something like that. Something a little bit thicker. Could they be like some kind of, well, I don't want to say leather because I mean this definitely looks like a crease from being folded, right? But then what's this white stuff right here? I thought it was cotton maybe. But if this is the jacket, I mean there's no cotton inside this, right? So are these part of the gloves? Because at one point I thought this was kind of like a wool lining. Donna says, "Why is there a knot by the masked man's a knot? Are you talking about this right here? I don't know, but that's what the ski mask that I purchased online. That's what it looks like. It's kind of like where the stitching kind of crossed over each other. Doris, yeah, look at this. I don't think this is a rubber glove. Doesn't look like a latex glove to me. So, in my opinion, all of these gloves that we've been seeing kind of laying around, people are finding. I don't even think that's what the kidnapper was wearing. That's not what this is. I mean, I have one of them. I'm looking right at him. Hear that? Unless they make them like extra large or something. I don't know. Let's see. Do they have sizes? Yeah, maybe this one's a medium. Oh, okay. They have sizes: small, medium, large, extra large. This is a medium. I wonder if that matters. Pima County is returning Nancy's house to family per Brian Enton. You know, that's interesting. I guess we can talk about the suits now. I was watching JLR and I grabbed a screenshot. All right, let's watch this. Hopefully, you guys can hear this.
Whoa. What the heck? Holy smokes. Like, look at that. Suits. You got suits coming in.
It's interesting that you said that. Pima County is returning Nancy's house to the family per Brian Enton. Because when I saw this group of guys, the first thing that it reminded me of was the Idaho 4 murders. And I think it was in this News Nation report specifically. I might have a clip here. Let's see.
We were here,
Yeah, here we go.
and about 5 plainclothes investigators.
So it's interesting, right? These guys show up right before they kind of made the announcement that they're going to tear down the Moscow murder home. So before they do that, this group of suits, very mysterious and, you know, hiding from the cameras, and they didn't want to be seen. I think later on, they may have even been identified as military, one of them as a military investigator. So I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. But as soon as I saw that video today from JLR's live feed, this one, it just instantly, like, boom, it popped into my mind. I was like, oh shit. This reminds me of the Koberger case.
What the heck? Holy smokes. Like, look at that. Suits. You got suits coming in.
Right. So before we turn the house over back to the family, let's make sure we send in like our top guys, and we'll go in there and take one more look. But either way, it was very reminiscent to me of this. I don't know what you guys think.
Local, state, federal. They were inside, and we saw a lot of activity inside the home, and the home was lit up. So we were able to peek in some of the windows, but we saw those men
I think they come walking
inside
out
the
right now.
home in the 2 particular rooms where the
Here
murders
they come.
took place. We did not see them leaving with any materials. I asked them a couple of times, why are they back? They did not.
So I wonder if it's the same kind of group, you know what I mean? And this guy actually looks like the FBI agent that worked on the Koberger case. You can probably even go online and find a picture of him in that big old beard. It was so cold though in Idaho, he was wearing like a beanie cap, I think. But he looks like the same guy right here. Not as the guy in the cowboy hat, but there's another. If you go look, you'll be able to find some images of this FBI agent. So I don't know if this is like a coordinated effort with all their top investigators, you know, FBI, local, maybe even somebody that's private. And they're all just kind of collaborating before they hand the home back over. But I can be wrong. Hey, Sleuth, a psychic predicted that she is 2 miles from the house northeast, northwest by a mine in the area. Do you have a map that shows the border? I have Google Maps. Cog for Live. Tommaso would really have to lose a lot of that thick facial hair. I mean, he does have the eyes in these older photos, but you got to remember the kidnapping just happened 25 days ago. So you need to take something current. And right now, see, we have Dominic here, but in reality, it's really Mr. Evans, right? The fifth grade teacher. Does he match? Oh shit, we got a super chat. Hold on, let's scroll on down. Hey, Don, thank you. The only time I saw guys wearing gun holsters over their crotches was in Central America. Do you think the perp is from Mexico or Central America? Honestly, let me tell you what I think, Don. I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, that holster was the cheapest holster that I could find on the Walmart shop, online shop. It was like almost $7. So everything that I could match up to the perp, I purchased it, and it ended up, ironically, being all of the cheapest shit that you can find. So I think he purchased the shitty holster, and the only reason he put it in where it was because it doesn't have a clip on it. And that's why I purchased all these items, because I wanted to feel them. I wanted to touch them. I wanted to see what was driving the thinking behind the suspect. And when I had this holster in my hand, I thought, man, this is not convenient. Like, you need a clip. So what I think is, if you notice the perp's backpack, it almost looks like it might be open. I could be wrong. And remember, they haven't confirmed whether or not those two different photos are from the same day or not. Like, we don't know if the with a backpack and without a backpack are the same day. I don't care what anybody says. Law enforcement has stated that. They've explained the reason why, right? It's all about Google and what they're able to provide. If they can't give them the digital forensics and the data from the device, they don't know. There's no way to determine it. And it's such a pixelated and low quality image, you can't do any kind of like side by side comparisons. But if you notice, it appears, and I purchased the backpack. So here, looking at it, it appears that it's open. So there's two zippers. There's a main zipper, and then there's actually three. There's a large one, a medium one, and then a small one right in the front. So what I think happened is he walked up without his stuff. The car, he parked the car, I think, just right up the street, like right over here around the corner. That's why he's looking up. I think he's looking up at his vehicle. And he kind of walks up. He's like, okay, we got a camera here. Everything looks good. I think he walked around the entire building at that point. Once he's kind of had an opportunity to look at everything, I think he walked back to his car, grabbed his backpack, opened it, grabbed the gun from right out of this pocket. And because it doesn't have a clip on it and he's being lazy and he's trying to be quick, he just unbuckled his belt, put the holster through it really quick, and secured his belt again. So I think this has nothing to do with style or preference. It's all about speed and convenience. And that's why it was important for me to purchase the holster. I had it in my hands, I held it, and I said, okay, I think he's just lazy, right? Or he's in a hurry. He doesn't have time to undo his entire belt. He doesn't have time for that. He just needs to unhook the front buckle, put the holster in, and buckle it back. And he's done. He's good to go. It's time to go in there and get this lady. Because that also means he can take it off quickly. Oh, super chat. Nanos wants the media gone. I don't think Nanos wants the media gone. And I think he has more. I think they know more than they're letting on. Honestly. I think they have something. I think they might even have like a burner phone left behind, or there might be something left behind by the perp. Hey, Cheeks with the flex. Thank you for your longtime support. I appreciate it. I think the items were stolen. That's why they are so cheap. Easy steals. I think I saw the pic with no backpack was from around January. Well, that's the rumor right now. That's what, people are spreading that information, but that's right now it's not confirmed. According to law enforcement and just listening to the way they're explaining it, I don't think they know. I don't think they know what it is. They just know that it appears that he's not wearing the backpack or the holster. But honestly, if you look at this image right here, the backpack appears to be open right here. You see that? And it just so happens to be the size of the holster. Right? He walks back over to his vehicle, grabs his backpack, opens it up, pulls the gun out, secures it quickly, just through the front, quick unhooking of the buckle, put it through the loop of the holster, buckle it back up, good to go. He can put it on and take it off quickly. I'm telling you, they look like they're from the same day. People say, well, he's wearing different shoes. I don't think so. Close up of the jacket right here. See, I just don't understand what this white stuff is. It almost appears like it could be part of this glove. I don't think these are leather gloves anymore either. I'm not quite sure what it is. Look, it's kind of thick right here too. Like pirate gloves or Santa Claus gloves or something. You see it? Originally, I thought it was the wool underneath the jacket. Well, if this is the jacket, that's definitely not the case. Right? And it definitely looks like the jacket. But what the hell is this area right here? Like some of those damn Santa Claus gloves or something. See, but here it does look. I mean, the gloves look rubber. They look latex, but why are they so baggy? Why are they so loose on his hands like that? Vinyl are loose. My dentist literally yelled at me because vinyl are tactile like latex gloves, which I wouldn't let her use. Good to see you, Nefertiti's. If he bought all cheap stuff, it's because he knew he would be destroying everything. That's what I'm thinking. Right? There's no reason for him to keep it. Maybe the backpack. Just out of necessity. And is it possible that he willed her out, like on a dolly or something? All right, let's get back to Mr. Evans. See, where was I? I don't know if we're going to have time to read this entire article, but we'll read part of it. So they show a photo of him like just completely matching the description of the masked man. He kind of looks like him a little bit. I don't think in the face, but I mean, grow some facial hair. Shit, who knows? I think the plan was to just do some sort of staged robbery. Something unplanned happened, so they staged this footage No, man, it's the opposite. He's in no rush at all. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's in a rush. Honestly, my opinion, this is what I think happened. All of this stuff that we talk about on the channel was just me following the evidence. But my gut tells me that this is a young person. This is a conservative, politically conservative person, most likely a Trump supporter, somebody that you would see at the rallies, maybe even in his second, third, or fourth year of college, maybe a college dropout, military dropout, military vet, still between the ages 20 and 30 with a chip on his shoulder. Maybe a disgraced politician, young politician, somebody targeting Savannah. That's my gut. This is a politically motivated hit job, right? They don't care if they get the money. If they do, good. That could be what inspired them to actually go through with this, right? Somebody that's well versed in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. They're constantly using it, constantly working with it, thinking, man, like this definitely is 100% untraceable. Maybe even they're doing other crimes like exchanging things on the dark web, um, child sexual material, CSAM, things like that. They've been getting away with it for a couple of years. Like, man, if they could trace me or track me through this, they would have done it by now. You know, that makes me think I could do this, right? I could commit a kidnapping and hold them for ransom. And if I do it through Bitcoin, they could never trace me. So to me, this is somebody that's comfortable in that with Bitcoin. I'm not convinced that it has anything to do with Mexico, the cartels, permission from the cartels, or any of that. Although I am going to chase down those leads and that information just to kind of see for myself. That's why we're going to Yuma tomorrow. We'll spend an hour or two there, and then I'm going to spend the entire day on Saturday at the San Diego border just talking to people there coming back from Mexico. Right? That's what I want to talk. Those are the people I want to talk to. They're coming back from Mexico. Like, hey, who knows? Maybe they have Nancy somewhere and they're treating her well. They're just not letting her, get away or contact anybody. And maybe a family member was able to see her. Like, yeah, I did see a strange woman that appeared to be being held against her will. Yeah, that looks like her. Right. So we're going to ask people coming back from Mexico in Yuma, and we're going to do the same thing in San Diego. Who knows? They don't know it's a high profile case. They got their own problems right now. I don't get the bite light. I've never seen that. Well, people say that it's pretty popular right now. But yeah, my honest opinion, even though I'm kind of following down all the information and following down the official evidence, quote unquote, that's my gut feeling. My gut feeling is we're looking for a young man. Um, Maybe he was kicked out of the military for not like taking the vaccine or something, something along those lines. He lost his job. He's blaming Savannah and people like Savannah for whatever his life turned into. But yeah, I think that's what we're looking for. Somebody with military experience too might have made them confident in pulling this off, right? Maybe ex law enforcement, police academy dropout, 2 year, maybe spent like 2 years on the police force and was kicked off for whatever reason, fired. We're looking for somebody young and confident, somebody that's sitting in their own world and whatever's going on in their world, it's telling them that they can get away with this. Right? Who is that? The person looks young to me. So if you ask me, my intuition tells me this is a politically motivated crime. We're looking for somebody young, probably alone, came up with the plan, somebody who's works with Bitcoin and crypto, maybe even in a professional, um, or illegal. Two people think one got in through the garage. I don't know. I don't know if you manually open the garage, does it register on the system? All I know is that they have the garage door opening when she was brought home and then closing shortly after. I think the perp was walking around the home. I think he pulled up. Here, let me give you a bird's eye view, and then we'll go into Mr. Evans. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Charlene, what's up? Yes, he told them to leave by tomorrow or get a $250 fine. Oh, gotcha. Here, let's go to the markup. Okay, look, right here. Can I zoom in on this or what? No? Oh well. But this is basically the side slash back of this home, right? The front of their home's over here. So if you parked right here, like ain't nobody's gonna fucking see you right here. Right? You get out of the car, you kind of creep through here. And I went here early on in the case, like week one. I think maybe yeah, I think it was the start of maybe week two. And I stood right here. I remember standing right here talking to 857 Tucson. I gave him a t-shirt. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, you could really hide out here. So this is what I think happened. I think he went back here, maybe found an open window or saw that he could see inside. Maybe he saw Nancy. I think he walked all the way around, came back this way. And then that's when we get him without his backpack, right? All the way around this way. No backpack, no gun. He's like, all right, we're good. Walks back to his car, grabs his backpack, holsters, puts that holster right there in the front, and then does it again. Yeah, I'm not sure how he got in. Like most serial killers, they find an open window or, an unlocked sliding glass door. Has a jacket under his other jacket. Yeah, what is that? That's kind of weird. All right, a fifth grade teacher. We're not going to read the whole thing. A fifth grade teacher and his principal wife hid in their bedroom as dozens of people who believed he might be a kidnapper appeared on their suburban street. Who was that? Fucking JLR and fucking Brian Enton. I feel like someone's taken my name, said Dominic Evans, who had met Nancy Guthrie only once. So this is from the New York Times. Nicholas Bogle Burrows reporting from Tucson, Arizona. So this was posted earlier today. A 6-year-old boy in Arizona spent his first night away from his parents this month, not because he was at a sleepover or away at camp. It was because people had descended on his parents' suburban Tucson street, thinking that his father might be the man who abducted Nancy Guthrie. Is he? The boy's father, Dominic Evans, a 48-year-old elementary school teacher, plays drums in a band with one of Miss Guthrie's sons in law. For some people, that coupled with Mr. Evans' 1999 arrest for drunkenly swiping a calculator and watch while out at a bar was enough. He's a klepto. Just kidding. He became their prime suspect. The accusations were levied online, but they have become a real life nightmare for Mr. Evans and his wife. Right? It's Mr. Evans. It's not a. I remember him as Dominic, right? Tommaso's friend Dominic, bandmate Dominic. They hid in their bedroom with the lights off that night, too frightened to pick up their son from his grandmother's house for fear of being followed. Days later, another swarm of journalists, live streamers, and gawkers photographed the family home and knocked on their neighbors' doors. So that's interesting. It's not Dominic, it's Mr. Evans. Me too, Donna. Good point. I hope they are closing in on somebody, more than one person, if that is the case. I think it's possible it could be one person. I think this person needs to have a secondary location. Maybe he's estranged from his family right now, his job, but has somewhere to hide. Maybe like family property or something, a cabin. He's going to need running water. I don't see anybody, planning this just to kill Nancy. I think he needs to explain something to her, because wouldn't she be the reason that Savannah is the way that she is? And also her social media is all like really kind of like a radical leftist type stuff. So if you're like a conservative who's really angry, and I think this person might have military experience or former law enforcement, but whatever reason, he's really pissed off. He has nothing to live for, and he thinks that he can get away with this. But I do think it's possible he's trying to explain to Nancy, right? I'm happy to spend time with her. That way she can see things the way I see them. Okay, what else do we got here? We're running out of time. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't see like a garage keypad or anything on either side. But I do think it's possible that he went around the entire home. Maybe the back door was open. And instead of just going right in, he kind of continues to investigate, like inspect, like who else is here, who's all here. What's your take on the other video footage of a guy wearing a backpack and throws the backpack over the fence? I think I have that. Oh, let's see. That's the wrong one. Hold on. I think I do have it, though. At least I thought I did. Oh, yeah, here it is. Guy with two bags. Yeah, same day and everything. See if we have a timestamp on this one. 152. So this would have been before. I don't know if you guys can see it down at the bottom right corner, but it says 152. Looks like he has a bottle. Look, it looks like he has a bottle of either some Crown. Yeah, he looks like he has a bottle of Crown or something in his pocket. You see that? Looks like he has a bottle of alcohol. Ray Boy says, "I've been saying it. It's Santa Claus gloves. You have." Like I kind of chuckled when I first read your comment, but there's something to it. I don't know if that's what it is, but now I see what you're saying. Like the poofiness of it, kind of like pirates' gloves. I can't get a real good look at the other backpack. He appears to be wearing like Dickies, like a pair of blue Dickies. No, not no, my wrench. Do you think it was related to this? No, I don't think so. Like, what's he even grabbing? Like, what's he doing? Been trying to open the gate. See, the interesting thing about living in a big city like Tucson, especially near the border, you're gonna have people walking all around trying to steal your shit. But that goes for every big city. You know, people just walk around at night checking for unlocked doors. Shit, if they can find $20, shit, that's all they need. What's up, Brave Soul? Law enforcement did tell media that they can park on Nancy's street anymore or they will be fined. Yeah, we were talking about that. Maybe extra large. Yeah, it's got to be something loose, Wendy, because it's definitely these mediums. There's no way. They're just too tight. And definitely there's no way to put them over another pair of gloves and then to kind of show all that slack there. Inner strength, glove over gloves, the cuff look like wrist warmers. um you know what, wrist warmers would actually work really good to keep like your sweat and stuff from kind of dripping down. That's interesting. That would be really smart. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. What's up, Brian? That is the definition of terror. Absolutely. Yeah, whoever did this, I believe this person is a terrorist for sure. What about gang or cartel initiation? I'm not sure. I mean, the ransom, he says, hey, she's in Mexico. You know, killers, kidnappers, and criminals love to stage crime scenes. And honestly, if they tell me that she's in Mexico, my first instinct is to think the opposite, right? I saw her in Mexico. To me, that means that the killer is in Phoenix. The killer, I keep saying killer. I just feel like whoever did this kidnapper, you know, definitely has those tendencies. And I do believe that Nancy could be gone already. It is a possibility that we are talking about a killer. Could it be an illegal? I don't think so. I think we're looking for somebody who deals in Bitcoin. They trust it. They're confident that if they do submit a ransom, they might get luck. They might actually get the money, and they believe that they could use that money to escape or receive the money without being traced. And also, they took Nancy knowing that they couldn't be followed. We don't have a vehicle. I think if we're lucky, we have a device. I think it's very possible that there's a burner phone that was discovered at the crime scene or something along those lines. If he knew Bitcoin, he'd know it would track when you remove or convert. Yeah, convert. Gotcha. I still think the over the shoulder carryout seems very plausible. Yeah, it does. Since the blood droplets are said to be the same type of pattern as on the porch. Yeah, and there was no smearing of it or anything like that. Well, hold on. We have a super chat. Got a couple of them. Bill, almost a full moon when she was taking shadows. That was my initial thought. So you have two lights, possibly. They may not be on or off, but you still have, you know, the moon. I agree with that, Bill. Some of the thoughts that I keep to myself, you know. You don't want to make things too tricky. Just started watching this video from the beginning. Looks like Nancy's car is back from the impound. No, that's an old video. This is an old drone video. This is something from early on. Let me go to the super chats real quick. Cog, thank you so much. Grab some snacks to take along. Safe travels. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Not the run of the mill, because for the mill I don't run. All right. So we're going to close down the stream here in a minute. But before we do, let's talk about the young man. Who is the young guy? This could change everything, right? This turns the tide towards my gut. And I want to be very careful that I don't get tunnel vision or try to lean into my bias, because it's definitely my bias is my gut instinct, my first impression. This is a young person, um, very politically motivated, conservative Trump supporter. He's gonna, he's there for the reckoning. He's gonna teach them a lesson, and everybody like them. And for whatever reason, he's confident he can get away with it. He might have a military background, some police training. Physically, he's strong. That leans into a young person, right? If we're talking about carrying Nancy over the shoulder, it's 150 pounds. Um, Able to handle her. I think maybe he put her in a bag. I think that might be what is in this backpack. Like a large some type of large bag. Like those old army military duffel bags. Also, it could be a contraption that he planned to put over her head to keep her quiet. Right? She can scream all she wants. Puts this thing over her head and locks it on, like the man in the iron mask. And that's why nobody can hear her. He just keeps her right there in the suburbs, on the outskirts of town, lives alone, estranged from his family. Army Mom, what's up? Stephanie, good to see you. I don't know why they think it was him, Stephanie. He's Tommaso's bandmate. Why do cops still have Annie's vehicle? I don't know. Maybe they found some DNA in there, something suspicious, and they're waiting on some results. Also, there was some talk of the suits that were there today were prosecutors. Now, the only reason for a prosecutor to be involved is because they're getting ready to press charges or something along those lines. Not a pro. They researched it, an amateur that someone hired who saw her last, who has motive. I do think this is an amateur. I think this is somebody that has professional skills. He has all the skills necessary to do the job. But all of his skills were acquired for other reasons, right? He has the ability, to remain covert and avoid law enforcement. Where did he learn that? Physically, he can probably carry Nancy. He also has the ability to transport her and avoid detection, even though the entire world is looking at him. So he has all these skills, even though he's not a criminal, right? That's why we see him kind of like with the backpack, without the backpack. He kind of seems like he's fumbling with all of the um all the little things. I'll cover it with flowers, right? But it's because somehow he knows that he has nothing to really worry about, that it could be documenting him, but at that very moment it's not anything to be worried about. For some reason he has inside knowledge of that, which may make it appear like an inside job or something like that, but I think he just did his homework. He may even be able to hack into the network, or maybe even snuck in at some point. Maybe he made a key, right? Sneaks into the garage one day, knows that Nancy leaves every morning at a certain time. He's been watching her, sneaks into the garage. Everybody says, "Oh, that's funny. We all look behind us when we close the garage like somebody's going to sneak in." But the creepy thing is, I actually covered a true crime case where that happened. Um, a guy was divorced by his wife. She married another man. Her husband waited and stalked her new husband. And when he went into the garage, he rolled underneath right behind him and killed him. So if he's doing his recon, he could have snuck in one day and just made himself a key or something like that, stole a key, or, made his own set of keys. What's up, Cindy? Good to see you. Okay, so who is the young man? I think this was from US News. Yeah, there you go. Anthony Blair. Let me close some of these. Okay, this is very interesting. This could change everything for us. This changes the profile. This changes the whole cartel aspect, the whole Tommaso. And this fits right into with what my gut was thinking from the very beginning. A young suspect, a young politically motivated individual. I think that's who we might be looking for. He says, "Oh yeah, I saw Nancy in Mexico, right? This is the cartel." He's misleading. If he wants you to look at Mexico, I think we need to think the opposite. What's the opposite of Mexico? That's Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, one of Nancy Guthrie's neighbors has claimed she saw a suspicious young man walking around the neighborhood several weeks before the 84-year-old went missing. And here's a quote: "He didn't have your typical walking gear on." Right? He's wearing his bridge guy outfit, clothes over clothes, things that he can discard. He's wearing a disguise, a quote unquote kill kit, or something along those lines, right? He didn't have your typical walking gear on, and he had his hat pulled really far over his eyes, right? Head down. Doesn't want anybody to recognize him. He's doing recon. Aldine Meister, who lives in Catalina Foothills along with Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, told Fox News Digital Wednesday. Meister saw the unknown man walking close to an intersection leading to Nancy's home and hadn't seen him before or since. He was kind of younger, and he just didn't look like he was going out for a walk, she added. He just didn't fit. And remember, it's the little things here. There's a reason that why she remembers this person. It's her intuition. Meister mentioned the strange man to her husband, but did not report the sighting to cops at the time, she said. Following Nancy's suspected kidnapping at around 2:30 a.m. on February 1st, Meister told authorities that what she saw but had no video or photographs to give detectives. It could have been the 11th, Meister said, adding that she was certain it was after January 8th when she had visitors in town, right? Remember, they were asking about the 11th. Neighbors have been urged to check home security videos for any video taken on January the 11th, specifically, as well as any between January 1st and February 2nd. So Nanos has something. He has something and it's meaningful. And he's not going to tell us what it is. I don't think it's DNA. I think it's something else. What could it be? All right. So this could change everything. He was kind of younger and just didn't look like he was going out for a walk. So let me know what you guys think in the chat, you guys. So this is going to be our 5-minute warning. And don't forget, make sure you guys hit the bell icon. We're going live from Yuma tomorrow morning. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time in Yuma. The plan is to spend the majority of this trip in San Diego at that border. There's more foot traffic. And remember, the goal is to catch people coming back from Mexico, right? Who the fuck is Nancy? Oh, well, let me tell you. This is her. There's rumors. There's been mention. There's a possibility that she's being held somewhere in Mexico. Have you seen her? Have you seen this guy? Have you seen this backpack? Because if you have, there's a $1 million reward for that information. Maybe Grubhub deliverer. Well, that's who Carlos was. He was a dasher. She probably had a heart attack seeing him in her house. Yeah, the way Savannah put it, somehow he was able to sneak up on her. So that tells me he got into the home without really breaking anything. He must know a way in. Not a conservative. This is a murder for hire, sadly. Hate to say it. The guy is an amateur. Well, why would you hire an amateur? And I agree with that. I think this guy is an amateur. I think he holds the skills to get the job done, but I definitely don't think he's a career criminal. So if they do have his DNA, that could be the reason why, they can't trace it through CODIS or anything else. The genetic genealogy is where it's at. And also, you got phenotyping, where they can take your DNA, they can create a sketch from places like Parabond. So if they had DNA, they definitely would have probably already done that, because they've actually captured, straight up killers instantly. Boom, they got it. And everybody's like, well, shit, I know who that is. And oftentimes when the person sees that sketch from the phenotyping, they just turn themselves in. They're very accurate. What was he doing for 41 minutes in the house? I don't know. I think he was putting her in a bag. I think he was making sure that she could breathe and that she was somewhat comfortable. Maybe even putting something over her head that would keep her from yelling. Allow her to breathe, but keep her from making a lot of noise. Right. Richard says, need to look again at the son-in-law hiring the hitman. I think that all those guys were polygraphed. Seems too risky. Like, why risk it all? You know what I mean? How do we know they still have her vehicle? Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed. I know that they opened the garage, I think, earlier today, and it wasn't in there. She's not conscious, out the door, likely already dead. A lot of people say that from the get go, basically something to take her out in. Yeah, I think it's a large bag, something that he could carry. Maybe even something he can like carry like a backpack, even. Just kind of drag her out of there. No, I didn't see it. Internet. All right, guys, I'm going to take a couple more and then I got to get out of here. Because his Nanos has nothing. I think they do. I don't think Nanos. I think the investigative, the team, the cohesive unit. I think they do have something. It's either some kind of phone ping, some kind of geo profile warrant. They have something. They're narrowing something down. They have something. I don't know what it is yet. But it could have something to do with what he was doing in the home. Maybe he was on shit. For all we know, maybe he was getting something off of Nancy's computer, forcing her to download something onto like a hard drive. Lori, can you send that to me, Lori? I got to get out of here though. Bill, welcome in, Bill. Not the guy at the back door. Absolutely not. Yeah, something's up with Carlos. Maybe he is connected. You know, he doesn't seem to match the description. That is an AI photograph. Yeah, see, I put AI image right underneath his foot. Because I noticed it. I was like, oh shit. That looks like a really realistic image. Because I literally used a screenshot from Nancy's security footage and I think it was either Grok or Chat GPT. I said, hey, show me, make this guy young without a mask and no background. And then I actually put him at the intersection that the witness claimed he was at, which is Orange Grove Road, and then the road going into Nancy's neighborhood. Bam Bam Crime. Where did you get that picture? Did the FBI release that? What picture? Joni, yep, everything is all good. Thanks again, Don. All right, guys, that's going to do it. If you're part of the replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Drop a comment and we'll get back to you. If you guys want to get a hold of me, you can reach me at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And if it's easier for you, just go to the website, sleuthintuition.com. Go check out the merch, hit the Cash App. But if you can't do any of that, just hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow around noontime, Arizona, at the Yuma border. And if I find time, maybe I'll go live while we're still traveling. We'll see what's going on. But for sure, make sure you guys hit that bell icon because we are going live, boots on the ground. First Yuma, and then Saturday we'll be in San Diego. So don't miss it. I'll see you guys then. Peace.